The headline is fallacious. The headline is false. It suggests that somehow things are not going well. But by the end of the article, they say, actually, this is a genius stroke by the president, Bukele, because the frickin' country's growing like a weed.
Bitcoin bull and maximalist Max Keiser gives his Bitcoin prediction in this latest interview. Max has been one of the strongest proponents for Bitcoin, even amidst the largest cryptocurrency struggling to gain bullish momentum. With crypto markets in a state of uncertainty, it's no surprise that Max Keiser would be an avid defender of Bitcoin, even going as far as competing with Michael Saylor on who can grab as much Bitcoin before the next adoption phase. He also believes that as banks and institutions start mining Bitcoin as a strategic reserve, they'll be the official custodians and create a new infrastructure. Let's listen to Max as he gives his prediction for Bitcoin and why he believes the power is shifting from the fiat money world to the Bitcoin world.
This is a rebrand of a country.
For a mere, even if Bitcoin went to zero, they would still have achieved billions of dollars worth of an ad campaign, a marketing campaign for the country.
Right, so Costa Rica called 60 billion, El Salvador 30 billion. I mean, is it unreasonable to think that El Salvador's GDP is going to catch up to Costa Rica in the next 2 or 3 years? El Salvador has the potential to similarly attract the best and the brightest with perfect money, with Bitcoin. It's already happening. So the tourists come. This leads to, in the tourism sector anyway, you've got an increase in hotels, which increases the workers, which increases the income, which increases GDP, which increases the adoption of Bitcoin, which increases tourism, which increases the hotels. So you got this virtuous cycle building up, just like in Florence. It's all around Bitcoin. You've got the President Bukele, which is like the Medici of Central America. These other countries in Central America are looking at El Salvador and they're saying, you know, how do we get in on some of this action? And it really has become the land of the free. People who are tired of the oppression that's happening in some of these other fiat-based economies. And fiat money is oppression. Fiat money is slavery. Fiat money is kind of the end of humanity as we know it, whereas Bitcoin is a continuation.
Keiser goes on to say that corporations are pushing for greater Bitcoin exposure on their balance sheets, and that it will lead to an inevitable domination of the financial world. Over the past 12 years, Keiser has seen the rejection of the innovation of money, and as one of the early adopters of Bitcoin, he talks about the difficulty for people to change their mind about how they've been taught money.
So this financial headline, which talks about all the sunk costs and the waste of money, is completely wrong. I mean, they're missing the point. They don't understand that this is an investment that will ultimately rise, as of course Bitcoin is programmed to increase purchasing power against fiat money, mathematically guaranteed to do so. Meanwhile, you've got all this boom times in terms of people coming here and participating in a brand new emerging force of excitement, and they've got so many natural resources and energy, it's quite something.
And I also want to point out that, of course, you know, Medici, he wasn't flipping art. Like, he didn't invest in Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci or Botticelli or, order the David to be, a sculpture to be put into the center of Florence because he was hoping to flip it to somebody. That was the marketing cost of Florence and his understanding of legacy and the future. Like, you and I will be remembered for our artwork here on the set, the turgos, the national bird of El Salvador, right here in our set.
There's a controversy whether those are turgos or are they parrots. The people here seem to believe that they are parrots, and we were sold turgos, the national bird. And we, of course, paid a little extra because, hey, this is the national bird. But I think we got sold parrots. So now we've got parrots, and but they're still cute. And I believe they have parrots in this country too, unless there are no parrots in El Salvador, in which case it makes no sense. We have parrots on the set for no reason. But hopefully there are parrots here, and next time maybe some turgos, which they're blue and orange. Well, let's talk about another currency, the yen. All this globalized forex trading, sometimes the yen gets overlooked. It is a major funding currency in that It's been used by speculators to borrow and then invest in higher yielding currencies around the world, the so-called carry trade. It's sold off hard in the past few weeks. Yield curve control seems to be faltering. What next? And does any of this matter for the Fed's plans to perhaps do the same? Cynthia Lummis, senator from Wyoming, has got a bill in Washington she's trying to get passed. They're figuring out at what threshold would constitute a taxable event. Is it $600, for example? And this is the kind of fine-tuning that's going on. But in your mind, as I understand it, you're just saying, look, just treat Bitcoin as money, and you don't need to waste a lot of time with all this other bureaucracy that accompanies it. That's a big waste of time. Right, so getting back to El Salvador, where the president has made Bitcoin legal tender, you do have a tremendous knock-on effect. You've got tourist dollars pouring in and to the tune of hundreds of millions. Investment, forward investment into the country, inward investment is being calculated in the billions. When you add it all together, the question is, how do you see it going forward in the short, medium, and long term? Well, recently the president hosted 44 central bankers. They came here to El Salvador as part of a regularly scheduled program, but they got into Bitcoin quite extensively. They've got their wallets, they're trading Bitcoin. They've now gone back to their respective countries and they're orange pilling the world. And it's mostly the global south, Nick. So is this a trend to look forward to, that it's going to be the global south to lead the way in this hyper-Bitcoinized world we're going to see in the next few years?
El Salvador is home of the Great Rebrand, one of the greatest rebrands in history, I would posit, in fact. And we're going to look at why we're also here because of that rebrand that not only brought us here, but also that we're here to reframe the headlines that the mainstream corporate media always puts out. This is what you and I have been doing for over a decade, is reframing how they position, often to the benefit that they do. Their headlines are to the benefit of the elite of the world that have already run our global economy and monetary systems into the ground. We're here to reframe it and explain why you need things like Bitcoin.
Max says this is a make or break time for markets around the globe, as the crypto industry at large has too many working parts to be stopped. Although Keiser does have a slightly different opinion than Michael Saylor on government regulation, only time will tell. Keiser isn't surprised that Saylor holds a favorable position with the United States government because Saylor supports the dollar as the world reserve currency. Max doesn't believe government should be involved and says that Bitcoin's longevity is designed to survive without intervention from any governing body. What do you think about Max Keiser's interview? Comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.